Good morning and welcome to our inaugural UAPC Upper Annandale Parish Church Moffat Zoomcast. We're hoping to make this a fairly regular event, and although this is the first, unfortunately, we're going to be saying goodbye to our trainee minister, Greg Robertson. So I thought I would make Greg my first guest. So welcome to this Zoomcast. Greg, just before we start, can you tell me a little bit about yourself, where you were born, schools, just general, before you got involved in your work as a minister?
I'm from Galashiels. I stay in Hawick. I went to school at Langley in Galashiels. And then went on to Galashiels Academy and then took on a modern apprenticeship with the Scottish Government. And from there, I done numerous jobs, and then I went to agricultural department, where that's where I felt God's call. It's just feeling like no other, but it's quite nice because I'd always been brought up in faith.
Yeah.
I'd been brought up within the BBs. Mm-hmm. My mum, my dad were leaders. My dad was a vice captain. So I basically started going to BBs before I could walk, basically.
Yeah.
And I went to Sunday school before I could walk, because they just had everybody there nowadays. So.
Okay, so my next question was going to be, what was your life like before you became a Christian? But basically, you've always been a Christian.
Yeah, well, there was a time in my life I really struggled with mental health, David, and my faith wavered. So I grew up in faith, and I would say I had a strong faith for a child. And I really struggled with mental health, and it was the why me that always really questioned me. And then it was a turning point when I was at my lowest that a kind minister came in and seen me, and he read me John 1. And that sat with me, and he did say to me, you won't get this. You won't get this now, but you'll get it in time. And time went past, and I did get it. And my faith helped me understand that God was... It's not always easy in the path of God, mm-hmm. but He has to send you tests and trials and tribulations to make you a bigger and better and stronger person. Mm-hmm. And I now understand that He's done that for a reason, which has already helped my formation to ministry.
Okay. You're answering the questions ahead of time. I was going to ask, how has knowing Jesus made a difference in your life, would you say?
When I was young, I had a rough childhood. I really struggled with bullying and comparison to my siblings. Siblings were very sporty, David, and I just like to watch, or I always wanted to horse ride. And did enjoy playing rugby, but it just wasn't for me. Like, I was one of the boys that I was either on the bench for rugby, or they called me a utility player. Yeah. They put me anywhere because there was a spot. But my brothers and sisters, they shot putted for Scottish schools, they sprinted for Scottish schools, they pathwayed for Scottish rugby, and that just wasn't for me. And I went down the refereeing route, but still people compared me. And I think the thing that got me through there was my faith, that is God God continuously says, like, I am in you and you are in me. And it just gave me strength to know that I don't need to be like my siblings. I'm following Jesus, and that's really what matters.
Good. How and when did you receive a call to the ministry? How did that come about?
So that was, I'd probably say about 6 years ago. About 6 years ago, so I'd be 23, and I'm now 6 or 7 years ago, I'm now 30. It's hard to think I'm 30, David. But no, 6 or 7 years ago, and I was sitting in my house, and there'd been a few things that I hadn't counted, or haven't even thought of. But I was sitting in my house, and just a few things, and I just asked God, I says, God, was that meant to be a sign? And I opened my eyes, and my Bible was open. And it is open at Acts 28, and I'm not great at remembering scripture, I've got to say, but it's so poignant, and I let it sit with me for quite a while. And there was things that kept on happening, and it really let me realise that something's happening here. I don't know if it's a call to ministry. I didn't know what that was at the time, David. Mm-hmm. But I then thought, what have I got to lose? I had strong faith. I let my faith waver. And then my faith became strong again when I started believing that really He is the only way, the truth, and the life. And that's what I then thought, well, if He is that, maybe He is calling me to ministry. And that past mental health troubles was part of my call to ministry. And when I think of it, I can't put it into words. But He doesn't call the perfect, and He calls the broken. And I was broken. I was hurt. I was more than broken. And I laugh because people nowadays, they would say, Greg, I never thought you'd go into the ministry. Or they'd go, really? But because they expect us to be people standing up there with this, you must. And that's not, you can see this with Elsie as well, that we are normal human beings. We laugh with other people. We joke with other people. We hug other people. It is the strength that God gives us, and God gives us different strengths for different reasons. And I believe we're in these times and places at these times for different reasons, and for the reasons that matter to the church. Although my call was over a period of time, David, it just strengthened. And it is. The last one was where I was at a sermon in Gala, and the new minister in Gala Shields, Graham Glover. His sermon just spoke to me, and that was my turning point. It really was. That was just kind of a real turning point.
So from a practical point of view, do you go to the employment exchange and say, I want to be a minister? Or from the actual practical to turning it into a vocation, what is the first step? Who do you see?
It's quite a strange process, David. It's not simple. And you'd think it could be simpler. So because I was questioning my call, I went to a consultant, my mental health consultant. Says, I think I'm going bonkers. And he says, no, Greg, you're not. And obviously that's not part of the process, but I then went to my local minister, and he really made me question myself. But he says, if you feel you're ready, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put your name forward. So you've got to fill in forms and put your name forward to the formation team within 121. But then you get an interview with them.
Is that a panel of people?
No, so it's one person. They interview you, they write down everything, and they take it to a panel.
Yeah.
And that panel decides if it's for you or if it's not for you. And that panel, my first time, took me 2 times to get through even the start.
Yeah.
And the first time the panel came through says, Greg, before you come through, we want you to do these certain things. Now I realise that's why my home minister says to me, kind of questioned it a wee bit, and because I hadn't done these basic things, but he worked with me. He worked with me to do these basic things, and next year it was like a walk in the park. He says you've done these, we don't even need to question it. And it's good because they did say, they says, come back with these things ticked, and knowing that your faith is strong, that you will go through the next stage. And it happened, and then from there you go to a candidates conference, and there's about, I think there was 10 of us, 10 or 12 of us, and basically you're a kind of cohort for that 2 days, and you go up to Conforti, and you see a psychologist, you do group training work, like teamwork, how you work together as a team. You do scenarios, so you've got to preach a piece of scripture, a scenario to your cohort, your small cohort, because you get individual to 3 different teams. And within that, it was challenging. I'd never met these people before, and they weren't there to catch out these other candidates, but it wasn't a contest, but kind of you were questioning each other, that going, oh, is that right or is that not? And then you had a meeting with the director of the course, and you also had a one-to-one an interview with 2 other panel members, and they questioned you about what do you think about women in ministry, what do you think about infant baptism. So you really do, you get questioned on these things, but because of what Church of Scotland is and what they believe. And like most of my supervisors have been lady ministers, women ministers, and they've been fantastic to me.
Yeah.
Like Sheila Moyer from Dryborough District, like, as I call her, my granny now, and Elsie, I'm now going to christen my auntie, because like you become family with them. Like they really try to help you, and they want to see you fulfill into a minister, and that's the nice thing about it.
Yeah. So I'm forming the picture now. You have these interviews. So I think this is your 3rd or your 4th placement. So is that is a placement the next step after you've gone through this interviewing process?
Yeah, so you do see, before they didn't count it as a placement, so you've got a discernment. You've got to go and do a discernment, and I done mine with the current moderator of the Church of Scotland, Rosemary Frew, and
that must be really nerve-wracking, is it, doing it in front of the moderator?
So obviously she wasn't moderator then, but Rosie was a very, like, ticks all the boxes, and she was good. She was another one that she always checks in you to see how you're getting on. Like, they all want you to succeed. But no, it's everything just changes for you, David. like the discernment process was 3 months.
Yeah.
And I worked with Rosie every Sunday, and there's a few extra things she had us in doing, like funerals, and just lets you see if this is really for you, and that really is a questioning time. And then again, it's a pass or fail, and that pass or fail lets you know what's happening if you're getting through to the next stage. And I actually forgot that in the process. Before you go to conformity, you go to discernment.
Yeah.
And then you go to conformity, because you've got to get through discernment first before you get to conformity.
Yeah.
But no, it all is challenging. It's not just a walk in the park.
I mean, is it possible somebody could get to that stage and be rejected at that stage? I'm not saying, yeah. So at any time.
Even now.
Yeah. Oh, right.
I could get to the end of my university, like I've got uni next in September till May, and if I don't complete my uni,
Right. Yeah.
you've got to have the degree, David. Like you've got to be theologically there to do it. Like I am not academic.
Yeah.
And I really struggle with my uni work. And I've got some good grades because I've really tried. And I'm really bad dyslexic as well. And it's a challenge, but God doesn't send you on a path that isn't hard. These things teach you. Like, would I be able to give sermons sometimes like I do without that university side? No, I wouldn't. Because it's given me strength, it's given me deeper thinking. And that's been a privilege, because in this placement I've done one of my university things for this year, which was a placement, which has been another great experience to do within one of my Church of Scotland placements. So it's been great. It really has been great.
Right. So your first placement was where?
My first placement, proper placement, so my discernment was in Melrose, with Bowden. My first placement was Dryburgh district, so Maxton, Merton, St Boswells and Newtown St Boswells. And that was with Reverend Sheila Moyer. My second placement was with Malcolm Jefferson in Peebles at St Andrews Leckie.
Yeah, no, that one,
and again, it had challenges, it had different experiences, which I learned a lot of new things. They've got a strong youth church there, a great youth Sunday school, run by a great team, but it just gives you, these are the things you want to take in your own ministry, and these are the things that kind of through time. What placement is also about is, where can you take a strength for here, where can you take a strength for there, but would you really do that, or would you do that?
And also, did you say before we went on air that this is your third or your fourth?
So this is my third placement. So the other two have been 6-month placements, full, part-time, well, 10 hours a week placements, and then this is a full-time placement.
So you've had 6 months, 10 weeks, so that means you're fed up of Moffat, does it, if you're only doing 10 weeks?
No, Moffat has been a great place to be. I've had the privilege of my living accommodation has been very different. I've lived in my fiance's VW Transporter caravan van, and it's been great. It's a great experience. And now I've been living in a cottage for the last 9 days, so it has been absolutely fantastic.
And also, of the three placement, has the congregations been of a similar age, of a similar social group, or have you thought, oh wow, this is completely different?
Yeah, so my first placement, there were a lot more elderly, some young people, like some youth, some middle-aged. Then my second placement at Peebles was a majority of that church was youth, and that's what was really strived for there. And it's great. And then here, there is a lot of elderly people here, but they have youth sections, they have a fantastic toddler group. Their Sunday, an aging, I'll not say elderly, but an aging population,
yeah.
David. But there is young people still come through that door, and that's the important thing as well.
Yeah.
And all through that, David, like as I've spoke to you about before, I've got Tourette's. Luckily, most of my tics are non-verbal.
Yeah.
And this church has accepted it with opening arms from here to Wamfrey to where we've also been covering up to Gretna, Middleby. They've all accepted it, David.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying other churches or other placements didn't accept it, but they took to a little bit different. They may have got distracted by it or found it off-putting. But people here have been, just like they were at the start, they opened me with opening arms, welcoming arms. That, like on a Monday I go to the Wamfrey hub, David, and I get fed either toast, soup, scones, you name it. Like, it's there. I'm meant to be on a diet, and they try to fatten me up, as they say.
What's Elsie like as a boss?
Elsie has been a breath of fresh air to me. This was a kind of placement where I needed a change. The training team, Ashley at the training team, know I needed a change and know I needed someone really to let me just have the reins but still have someone there to keep me on the right track. And Elsie has been, just I say, a breath of fresh air to me. She challenges you, but she makes you challenge yourself. I've been took part in parts of weddings, funerals, baptisms. Like a lot of other candidates aren't getting all these experiences. And like yesterday, which was a shame, there was an infant funeral as well, and that was really challenging. And to watch Elsie and that, to show that we have hearts too, like we get emotional too, and it is tough going, and the job isn't easy, and you see that in Elsie as well. But she doesn't sugarcoat it. She has been truthful, fantastic. Like I can only say positive things because she has been, as I say, a breath of fresh air to me. I really feel that God's put her into my life for a reason.
Perfect. Now, Cheryl said Elsie was magnificent yesterday.
Yeah, she was a strength that the family really needed, but at points, she showed that she's human. Like we are, like people say, how can you do this? How can you do this job week in, week out? Because we rely on God's strength, and that's who gives us strength. But sometimes, even God's strength isn't enough to get us through a situation like an infant funeral.
Of course. Probably the next question I've got for you is almost similar. What is the hardest thing about being a Christian minister? Is it funerals, or is it something completely different?
I think it's not knowing. It's unexpected. That's a good thing as well. Because it's not like any other 9-to-5 job. You go in, you do the same, you do this, you've got a thing. One day we could start a day at 9 o'clock in the morning, not get finished, or 8 o'clock at night. Next day we could be finished, start early, finish early. But you're not really finished because the phone's always beside you. Like, your job's never done. And to some people that's hard because they like to be able to make sure their job's done and they can sit at the end of the day going, phew. But knowing that your little visit can help and make someone's day, to a funeral, to being able to help the family through a rough time, a challenging time, it's amazing. And on the other side of that, baptism, being able to welcome another one of God's sons or daughters, our brothers and sisters, into God's welcoming arms is just amazing. And then a wedding, that bride-groom situation again, it's joyful.
Yeah.
So there's no day the same in ministry.
Yeah.
And I've really learned that in this 10-week placement.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of going to, I think you've answered the question. So that obviously there's as you were saying, there are times when it's extremely challenging. Do you have a special, I mean, like, is Christmas your favourite time being a minister, or Easter, or Whitsun, or?
So, Christmas is a wonderful and magical time of the year, because the birth of baby Jesus. But you've also got Easter, where the Matthew's Gospel tells of the great story of the journey to the resurrection, and all these wonderful miracles, but his challenges too. And then his resurrection from the cross to the rolling away of the stone is just, the whole thing is marvellous. You can't have a favourite, David.
Yeah, I just wondered if there was... Yeah.
Because even though they are so special occasions, within ministry, within times of year, time of years can be all different. Summer can be a great time as well, because you get so many kids sometimes, and they go on holiday, but you see them come back refreshed. And or birthdays, like 2 weeks ago I had a birthday here, and what's such a joyous time. Like the front four seats here, the total age was about 500 years old, combined, and it's just remarkable.
Yeah. Okay, so where do you go from here now, when you leave us?
So where do I go from here? So I have a couple of weeks off, and I've got a few things on before I go back to uni in September. And there till May, so it's seen as a year semester. So I've got a relaxing 2 weeks, although my fiancée just had an operation, so I'll be running after her. And then I'll be going to Boys Brigade Camp, which is a big part of my life, because right from the start of my Christian journey. And then we have Candidates Conference up in St Andrews, which we do every year for your 3 years. And from there, I do my next year at uni, and then I get married next July, all going well. She doesn't get sick of me. And then I hope to start my placement, my probation in September.
Right. Well, you're full on. What do you do in your leisure time? Or is it like a vocation? Is it your job, your hobby as well? Or do you have any downtime, non-church time?
I've tried golf, not very good at it. I tried guitar, and my Tourette's kind of hindered that. I love horse riding. Again, I kind of got, not a fear, but kind of, when I was riding along, I would chuck the reins, and it kind of gave us oh heck. But no, I enjoy horse riding. I enjoy just being around friends, family. Great pub back in Hoyk where I frequent, and I normally just go in and drink juice and listen to people. Because that's one place you can really reach out to people. And that was great. I just like being around friends, family, my fiancée and our 2 little Dachshunds. So we love going on walks with them. So it is good. And I got myself a wee electric bike, so hopefully keep up cycling.
Good, excellent. Okay, right, you're leaving Moffat, will you miss us?
Yes, of course. I've enjoyed all the visits, from pastoral visits, some just visiting. And no, I've made some good friends down here as well. So me and Alison come down numerous times a year, because Alison's sister lives down here with her partner and our new child. So we come down to visit them, but we also come down for a couple of days holiday sometimes, so it'll be nice when I'm next down here to come back and visit. So the visiting will probably be full on the first day, but no, I'm looking forward to coming back And of course, getting into the sweetie shop, that's not been very good for my diet.
No.
But no, I will miss Moffat. Moffat has been, it's home, been home for the last 10 weeks, and I've been made to make it feel like home. So it's been great.
Yeah. Okay, and if somebody is thinking about taking your path and going into the ministry, what would your advice be to somebody? Well, I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure, a bit nervous, am I right for it? What would your advice be?
You can only try it.
Yeah.
Like, if God is truly calling you to ministry or to a role within the church, just take it with both hands and really grasp it, because if you hesitate and don't do it, you'll look back and go, look what I could have been doing.
Yeah.
But once you start the journey, even if it's not full-time ministry, it could be part-time ministry, it could be a reader, it could be an elder within your church. You never know until you try.
Yeah.
But for full-time ministry, I've got to say, you've got to understand it's going to be a strain on things like finances, it's going to be a strain on lifestyle. Things have to take a back step, but you learn it is all worth it, David. Like I have, like right at the start I was going, what have I done?
Yeah.
Like uni books cost a fortune because I've got to have them manually because I'm dyslexic. I find it a lot easier to have them in person. So things are quite expensive. And you have to learn to manage your... I thought I was good with money beforehand, but this has taught me a whole new situation. Yeah. And no, you've really got to grasp it with both hands, but also expect to have to put things on the back step and back burner, where things like going to do a ride out back in the borders, that's on a back burner for a couple of years because financially it's not viable. Yeah. So I look forward to do it when I can, but at the moment it's not viable. Yeah. So.
And as you say, so if they should give it a go, because in life you always regret the things you didn't do, rather than the things you did do.
And the biggest thing there, David, to round it off, I would probably say, take it to God in prayer.
And finally, have you got a message to the folk in Moffat before you go that's going to go on air and going to go viral? What can you say to us all?
I'd just like to say a big thank you for making me feel welcome, appreciated, and part of family, because I've had the pleasure from just sitting up the back of the church here, David, to welcoming new visitors in the door, talking to them about the history and the change of this church, from walking down the street to talking to community people, and talking to people about the gala, the shepherd and lass, and doing the kirking of the shepherd last week. It was a glorious thing to do, and to still have the church involved with the community is amazing. So no, I'd like to thank everybody, not just the church, but the community as well, for making me feel so home.
Okay, well, we're coming to an end. Greg Robertson, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you. Ta.
Okay, Cheryl.